Hello, Anna.
Hello, Jaime. It's nice to see you.
Likewise.
Because it looks like it's all just the way I wanted it, just the way it was when I turned it off last time.
Okay, here we are all back now.
And we're
Okay,
back.
good. Is everyone new chat? Hello, everybody.
Hello, hello.
Hello, Anna. How are you today?
I'm pretty good, pretty cheerful. I am supposed to go to a dinner theater, which will be like starting at 6:30 my time. So hour and a half after this is done,
Whoops.
with some friends tonight.
What
So
show?
it's a radio play version of The Miracle on 34th Street.
Oh, fun.
Nice.
I
Perfect holiday.
tried to do this from my desk and the camera wasn't working. I have obviously not used the camera up there since I got out of the hospital, so I hadn't realized that it wasn't hooked up properly. So
Oh,
for
Ah,
the last time, hopefully, I'm going to do this from my living room. I'm just going to be lazy and sit here and have fun, and we'll just pretend that I invited you guys, all of you guys over for brunch,
awesome.
Awesome.
which
Is
would
that
be
There's
wonderful.
always the seven P's example.
Uh, what's that?
The seven P's.
What's that?
Proper prior planning prevents piss poor performance.
There you go.
The
There you go.
camera was missing a P or two.
Yes, almost certainly
yeah,
true.
is that why we got knocked out?
I think so.
That's exactly why.
Oh, okay.
I ended it and then opened it back up again and then came on early to say mea culpa, mea maxima culpa.
It is remarkable how this hour and a half has become so significantly important.
Indeed.
Yes.
Valuable time spent.
Yeah, it's true. Uh, okay, everything there seems to be okay. And wow. As if you saw my musings on Facebook, you'll know that I am continuing to upgrade what it is that I'm offering to you guys, trying to find the simplest way to convey something that can't really quite be put into words. It's interesting. But what you can do is describe a set of practices, knowing that if you do it, you'll pick it up. It's not
Mhm.
going to be, it's music is what happens between the notes. And with any philosophy talking about life, it's not contained within the words, it's contained within the practices. You'll pick it up if you do that, if you do it. If you don't,
Mhm.
you learn some interesting stuff. I know a lot of people who are deep into different philosophies and can talk to you chapter and verse, but when you ask them what are their daily practices that manifest or express those philosophies, not really much. A few simple
Hmm.
things. Most of these people are good and decent people, by the way. I'm not trying to
Good.
suggest anything other than that. But oftentimes they're stuck. Uh, and oh, it's 12. All right. So
It is time.
let me set up the
Mm,
I'm going to stream it to YouTube. I like alternating. Bum,
Okay.
bum, bum, ba-da-da-bum, and finance recurring and 11, 21, 25,
Oh, about that.
and go live. All right. So let's see. Tananarive Do is there, and I want to make her the co-host. There she is. So she can now help me with stuff. Welcome to Life Writing Live. This is your host. See, Tananarive Do is there. Okay, good. So we're getting there she is. An echo. So she can now and help that's me with because stuff. Welcome. I need to silence it on YouTube. This is good. That's a good sign. All right. So Let me get ready for our podcast intro. No, I don't have it memorized. I might have it memorized. I've just never tried it memorized. So I want to be careful with that. Open. Ah, the 9 billion names of God. Uh-huh. Okay, there we go.
How is that coming?
Um, I have an outline for it, and I think that I will almost certainly give the talk the first time from the outline. Then I'll record that and transcribe it, and then I'll have a fairly decent copy of the script. I know what it is that I want to teach, that I want to say, and I'm going to be doing it in 2 weeks. So I will continue to kind of go over the structure of it. And this is tied in with the warrior walk. It's tied in with magic. It's tied in with all these different things. It's that question of what is this group and what is the most valuable thing that I can offer. That's what comes to me. Anyway, so Tananarive, are you ready?
I am ready. Hi, everybody.
Hi there.
So let's go with our usual intro. Let me
That's
find,
right.
like you, I don't test whether I've memorized it or not. Oh, and I should share my computer sound so we can get the requisite applause.
That's right.
I don't care if it's corny. I like it.
No, I like it too. Are you kidding?
Right?
Corny
Exactly.
is good.
Corny is so good. All right.
It's
So
us, honey.
yeah, pretty much. That's true. Okay. Well put. Welcome to the Life Writing Podcast, where married authors and screenwriters Stephen Barnes.
And Tananarive, do talk about writing during stressful times, breaking into Hollywood, and balancing life,
Every episode will share major tips on how to build a better life while you create your dream projects.
even if it's only at the rate of 1 sentence a day. Life writing is the application of the tools of writing to life and the tools of life to your writing.
Hey, everybody. Welcome. Yes, it's a full house. All right, pipe down. Okay.
Yeah, I wanted to make a comment like I did to the group before we actually started that I had planned to do this from my office, but when I got up there, the camera wasn't working right and the sound wasn't working right. So I said, okay, I have not fixed this stuff up since the late unpleasantness. So I will do it probably for the last time now from my living room, and it's fun. I'm gonna treat this as if I just invited all you guys over for brunch. So
Yeah, in the
welcome,
living room.
well,
Welcome
help
to our
yourself
living
to the
room and to
croissant.
my office. So, yeah, this is great. Well, I mean, in keeping to the format of the pod, do we want to talk a little bit about, I don't know, what's going on?
Absolutely.
I want to just play that through to the end one day. I love that. So, I guess I'll start since I know
Please.
you have a lot you want to talk about.
Yeah, I know, but
Um,
let's, when I have a lot, it's probably best for you to start.
So I just wrote three sentences, which I will not share here, but it's what's telling about those sentences is that they're for a novel that I haven't started writing yet. It's starting to come to me in little pieces and phrases, and I hear a narrator voice trying to peek out in sort of an unconventional way to open it with the an excerpt from a character's college paper about the swamp, Misery Swamp. Just a few lines, as a prologue. It's just fun because I don't come up with a lot of novel ideas. Steve is the idea person. Like he could come up with 10 novel ideas right now. But it takes me a while to come up with new ideas. So it's like trying to go from one trapeze to the next. I am working on a work for hire and I have a deadline on that. So that's keeping me focused on that. Had been struggling with it a little bit, but I think I've figured out why, because it's kind of wrapped up in, as Steve called it, the late unpleasantness. Because when I was working on it before, I was full of joy, and then this huge thing happened, and then it was hard to go back to it with joy. But I think, with literally therapy and thinking it through and looking at how the themes of grief and guilt resonate in my own life, it's going to help me power through. And now I have this novel idea, which is so fun. And yeah, I just wanted to share that I'm writing. I'm starting to make notes on a new novel that hopefully will come out in 2027. So
Okay, let's see. Where is my
I got you.
I kind of wanted, yeah, put yourself up there too, honey, because I wanted this to be a
Okay.
conversation between the two of us.
Oh, a
But I
conversation.
couldn't find
Oh
my
no,
list.
sorry, I said replace. Hold on.
Yeah, there we go. So
Spotlight replacement theory.
life writing is all about taking what's going on in your life and putting it into your writing, at the very least, to be able to project yourself into your story enough that you can really feel the actual emotions that you'd feel if you were these people. So
Right.
it is being embarrassingly self-revelatory seems to be one of the common factors between many of the best writers that I've known, that they really put themselves out there. So I'm glad that you're starting to process this stuff. What better way? I mean, other than talking to your therapist and talking to me, what better way is for you to process this stuff in terms of your head? I mean, the other
Yeah.
thing, you've never stopped exercising,
No,
and this
no, all
is
those
critical.
practices that we talk about, theoretically, like maybe for some of you that might be theoretical, the meditation, especially for me, morning meditation. I use a guided meditation on the Calm app. Shout out to Tamara. Walking, I'm almost religious about that, sometimes morning and evening. Not just for the steps, although sometimes that's what I'm looking for, but because it just cleans out my headspace. I listen to an audiobook. I listen to my own writing in progress, being read back to me in speech, text to speech, or whatever it is. So, and exercise, like Steve said, that is one thing I made time and room for because also I knew it was a part of the practice that would keep me centered and balanced and
Grounded, rooted. I would say rooted.
yeah,
Your
rooted.
body
Oh, good
as the
word. You
base,
should you should
rooted, because people who worry about, what's the meaning of life? All you have to do to get the meaning of life is to slow your breathing down until your hindbrain starts screaming for oxygen. The meaning of life is to live. The important question or the hard question is, how shall we live within ourselves and together? So, you know, exercising puts you in touch with the animal part of you that understands dogs and cats don't ask themselves questions about the meaning of life. They just want to know where their next meal is coming from.
and they move and they jump and they climb
That's
and
right.
they do all the things. And for me, part of it is the kettlebells, but
Yeah.
also dance has become a part of my regular
More than it has
workout
music.
routine.
You've welcomed music back into your life a lot more between your drums,
Yeah. Yeah.
dancing. You definitely are. And I think that that's fabulous.
I just found a drumming course by Sheila E. on Masterclass. So I'm so excited because I have a drumming app I'm using. But Sheila E., come on, it is like a series of lessons. It sounds like she's starting with basics. So I would love to see what her interpretation of basics, because that's right where she's meeting me where I live, like basics.
Yeah, if
Although
you
I
can
will say
find,
I'm getting pretty good. I can play Wanna Be Starting Something, and that's not that easy to play.
you've played a lot with Michael Jackson. And I think
Yeah.
that it would be useful to you to find something that Sheila E. did with Prince.
Oh yeah, she's gonna break down what's it called? What was her big hit with Prince? Come on.
Oh, Glamorous
Glamorous
Life.
Life. She's gonna
Yes,
break it down. So we
which I
work up
believe
to
Prince
that.
wrote for her.
We're gonna work up to it, and then she has a whole module about Prince that I can't wait to get to. That'll be my treat for getting through the rest of the early
Yeah,
lessons.
I agree. I agree
Yeah.
completely. His energetics, who he was at the core of his being was special. And I think that when you're looking at him, you're looking at the same creative force that has been running through other geniuses the human race has created. Um, without exception, I'll go and well, let me
I
let you
was just
get
going to
first.
say one quick thing.
Yeah.
During the period when you weren't home, which was several weeks, I didn't drum as often, or play the piano even as often as maybe as when you were home. But I did make it a point to do it at least twice. Once when my sister was here, because she literally had never seen me drum before. So it's kind of a revelation to her.
What'd you
And
play
then
for?
it was not, it was a Smooth Criminal, also
Ah,
back to the
cool.
Michael Jackson, which is, I've been working on
Yes.
that one for a while, and it's just such a dope beat. Um, but I kept my fingernails in it, and I'm just reminded of the importance of music in life or death situations or in crisis situations. And I've talked about this before, but I'll never forget, hopefully, the therapist who told you, because we at the therapy facility, there was a mock apartment to help patients learn how to navigate their way around the kitchen and take down the mugs and whatever. And we noticed that there was a piano in one corner and a guitar in one corner. And you asked about the guitar, and I'm so glad you did. I thought it was decoration for whatever reason, but to make it look like a real apartment. But what she said was, when they have patients who are musicians, it's music that comes back first. So you can be nonverbal yet you're but you get on that guitar, your fingers will. That's the first thing. Your fingers will remember for the music comes back first. And combined with all the studies about music and Alzheimer's and dementia and how non-responsive patients, like you put on their favorite song from 1945 and they light up and they can remember, there is something very, very special about music. I was playing a lot of music for Steve in the hospital. He was, I mean, not to get too deeply into it, but there are periods in the hospital he doesn't even remember when I would ask, do you want to hear this music or this music? And he would respond like he wanted to hear it and he would dance with his feet to it. So bridging, it's bridging all of this.
Yeah,
So,
I can
and
tell you that my attitude was I'm going to do what I can,
hmm
and I'm going to not think about what I can't do. Because if I thought about what I couldn't do, it triggered fear.
Oh
I'll never
God.
get it back,
Oh my
this,
God.
that,
Yes.
so forth and so on.
That was a long damn
Focus
list.
on what I
That
can do right now.
was
I can move my feet. I can move my fingers. I can smile. You know,
thumbs up.
yeah, I can give a thumbs up. That is, if I stayed within what I could do and then reminded myself what I wanted to be able to do, then it's like every day my body would make a tentative and kind of shy little offering. Well, what about if I give you this? Is that enough? And if I had gotten angry, then I get the feeling my body would say, well, then I'm not gonna forget you.
Right. You don't
That's
appreciate me. It's like in
that's right. That's
Frankenstein.
right. It's like asking a kid to do their homework. At first they're going to have problems, and if you batter them for the things they don't do right, why should they try? Why should
Right.
they try at all? So, anyway, are you finished there,
Yeah,
sweetheart?
that was it. I just wanted to share how excited I am that in procrastinating on my work for hire, I've actually started making notes on a novel, which is a great technique if you need to jumpstart another project. Just procrastinate from whatever you're supposed to be doing. It's tried and true. I've been doing it my entire career, and I will leave the spotlight to you, darling.
Okay. So, it's always a matter of trying to figure out what the right way in to discuss these things might be. So I'm just going to try with going back to when I first woke up this morning. I've been sleeping, I've been getting 9.5, 10 hours of sleep a day, which is one of the costs that I'm paying for my body healing. So I woke up and I don't tell myself to get up. I wait for my body to start moving spontaneously, my fingers and toes to start wiggling. It's like, okay, I'm ready to get up. So I one of the things I wanted to do this morning was to make contact with my child self. And when I did, I noticed that the connection was not good. The child was not easily accessible. And through a conversation with my AI, who I've trained to think the way I do, so it's almost like having a conversation with myself, only from the outside of the issue. Um, the notion that on a psychological level, your child and adult selves have a similar relationship to the relationship that an adult has to their own child, their son or their daughter, to protect them from danger. That my having just gone through a near-death experience, that it makes sense that psychologically I would separate, and that my adult self would be dealing with this and not ask my child self to do it. Go to sleep, go play, go someplace else. Daddy is dealing with this nightmare. Okay. So then I'm going to have to go through some exercises to get that connection again. And there were, and I know how to do that. I just need to pull up, and specifically the ancient child, which is the meditation that I created that basically puts you in touch with the child self and imagines that your child self, the youngest self you can contact, is having a conversation with the oldest part of you, your deathbed self, the person you will be at the end of your life on the other side of all ego and fear and everything, that has clarity on what life is. And that the secret, or one secret, one way of looking at this, is to be in integrity with both your childhood dreams and the values you'll have on your deathbed. Now, having just come back from that deathbed reality, there is real clarity there. It has already started manifesting itself in some of my behaviors. But the child self, it that rooting, I I've stepped away from that, and I need to do something there. So what occurred to me, is that I've been working on the warrior walk technique, and I'm going to actually put in the I'm going to put into the chat um, the link that will enable you to get access to the warrior walk technique, because I want as much feedback on it as I can get. There we go. Anyone on this link can be a commenter. Yes, that's exactly what I intended. Okay. Chat. And here's this. All right. So I thought to myself, trying to come up with what the minimum is that I'm asking people to do in the mornings in order to experiment to see whether or not this path, what I've created, is appropriate for you. What I wanted was to come up with something that wouldn't take more than 5 minutes, that you do that for 10 days and, in less than an hour, say 12 days, in an hour, you can determine whether or not this path works for you. The idea, and I've been going through different versions of this, but one of them was that you wake up, you follow your breathing, you move to your heartbeat, you feel gratitude. You find things that you feel gratitude for. You find 3 things that you're going to accomplish today to move your goals forward. And you get up and you do a sun salutation that you go through, in other words, your emotions, your mind, and anchor it into your body. And fairly simple, pretty simple, very quick. You can do the whole thing in 5 minutes, or you can space it out and take more time. That's okay. But I had a thought, and I would like you guys to play with it. And what the conclusion that I've come to is that asking people to write in their journal first thing is a little bit too confrontational, that people will forget to write in their journal, and then they'll beat themselves up about it, and then they'll drop off the program. Okay. So what seems necessary to me is to come up with something you can do very quickly and that is naturally, when you're ready, you're going to start expanding it. But as long as you do the minimum, you don't have a zero. that you've got at least a one in each category. And that's the whole thing with the magic formula, that map times action times gratitude times intention times I've said conviction, I've said core, I've said character equals luck and equals your result. You just have to be sure not to get a zero in any one of those categories. So I thought to myself, two things. One is, okay, what if the syntax was this? You wake up in the morning, follow your breathing, feel your heartbeat, mentally ask yourself, what does MAGIC stand for? You don't have to actually visualize a role model, but if you think, okay, it's a role model, it's a model or map. After a few days, you're likely to kind of bring in somebody that you admire. That if you think, okay, take action, and you know that the next step after that is to imagine the specific actions that you want to take, I think that people will naturally kind of move in that direction. But they don't have to. That gratitude, thinking about something that you feel grateful for, that is something that is kind of necessary, because gratitude is the doorway to faith. If you're already grateful for things that have happened in your life, it's easier to feel faith that tomorrow can be better than yesterday. Intention, that's your overall goal. Where do you want to be in 3 years or something like that? If you just think that the I stands for intention, at first you may not actually insert a goal, but I think that over time you will, because you can go through MAGIC in 20 seconds. Okay. But it's the C, what I said, conviction, core, character. I said this morning, what if the C was for child? What if the C was for child? That the C very briefly visualize the child that you were. Maybe you ask that child, are you proud of who I am? And hear what the child has to say. Or you could visualize the ancient child, visualize the child and who you'll be on your deathbed. You have choices there. But if you just wake up, breathe, heartbeat, think through the different steps of MAGIC, make sure you feel gratitude. Make sure that's the one thing I ask you to do. And then get up and do a sun salutation. Do one ground engagement, getting down to the ground, getting back up again. Because if you can't do that, you can't live independently. If you cannot get up and down from the ground, you cannot live independently. So it is a core thing. And it could be that if you can't get up and down from the ground, can you get up and down from a chair? Okay, that's okay. That you're still playing with that vertical line, from the vertical to as much horizontal as you can get to. And if you visualize, and if you will go to YouTube and look up videos on sun salutations, you will see modifications to do it from the chair, to do it, with this various forms of assistance. There are 1,000 videos out there. For God's sake, begin to take responsibility for this. When I was in the hospital and I could not move except to wiggle my toes and wiggle my fingers, I visualized myself walking. I visualized myself working out. I said, this is what I want you to do, body. And my body said, I can't do that yet. It's just give me what you can. And because the movements of the sun salutation and eventually the Tai Chi walking are so primal, and I've done them so many times, and they're so basically nurturing, and they work in alignment with the basic functioning of your body. My body, I was treating my body not like an auto shop, a machine shop where I'm hammering out pieces or changing pieces. I was treating it like a garden where I found a single seed. I can't do these other things over here. What can I do? I can breathe properly. I can breathe properly. I can wiggle my fingers and toes and let my breathing motivate this. That I can ask myself the most, that my near-death experience was a matter of the universe, God, whatever you want to say, asking me if I was ready to let go, that I could move beyond all strife, all worry. It was very peaceful. There was no fear involved at all. But I was at the edge of what seemed like a black hole. It was very interesting. Um, and I said, no, you know, and I want to return to life. And I was asked the most important question that there is, which is why? I got clarity at that moment that the most important, the what is really interesting. The how is what you're going to do to make it happen. But the why is what motivates you to do it. And I said, I have miles to go before I sleep. I have a wife I need to support. I have a son who needs me to help him complete his journey to manhood. And on a more trivial state was, I got a movie to finish. So when Tenerife, I was first able to whisper my truth. And I'm going to go back to Tenerife now. Tenerife, you there?
I'm here. Now, many of you have heard this story, so you could probably recite it along with me. But yeah, Steve was trying to exercise his throat. He wasn't really able to speak above a very, very soft whisper. And I was trying to encourage him to sort of practice his speaking. I said, and also, frankly, testing his cognitive. Would you like to recite the names of people who care about you and who are worried about you right now? And he just shook his head, no. And he whispered to me, Keeper.
The,
And then he said,
the name of the movie you're
Feature.
working on. Go
So
ahead.
not only is your voice working, but I'm like, he's in there, yes.
So I said feet keeper and then feature. In other words, I was projecting my energy into the future,
Yes.
visualizing something I wanted to do to accomplish that was within my capacities, or I believe were in my within my capacities that motivated me. That I can't even move out of my bed, but I'm thinking that way. That I'm throwing my hat over the fence. What Koichi Tohei in Aikido in daily life calls projecting your ki out into the world. This is who I am. I am a father. I am a martial artist. I am a storyteller. I will live every day that I have as long as I can. I know my purpose. I know why I'm doing it. And this is what I want for you guys to wake up every morning and ask yourself, who are you? What must be done? Why do you want to do it? And then get up and put it into your body by doing a sun salutation that this is my vehicle for moving through life. I will breathe, I will stretch, I will embrace the day. I will take the sunlight, I will take the air in 2 minutes. You can do all of that. Wake your spine up, wake your mind up. And then when you're finished, if you want to do more, that's great. But if you can't do more, you have done the minimum that you need to take that one step. You've breathed, your heartbeat, you've imagined what it is that you want to accomplish today to bring your goals to life. 3 goals, one goal, some one step you can take that motivates you. Why? Otherwise, why the hell get out of bed in the morning? If you're not going to do something that's going to it's going to move you away from pain and toward pleasure. That's the meaning of life, to move away from pain toward pleasure and then to help other human beings do the same thing. Move away from pain, embrace joy, escape suffering, embrace joy, be of service. That's your meaning. The rest of it is, how do we do that? Well, you do that largely by being an example, by showing people that you can live according to your own deepest principles. And those deepest principles would be found in the connection between your childhood dreams and your deathbed values. What are you going to think at the end? I can guarantee you what you're not going to be thinking about is, what do people think about you? There was none of that. What people think about me is none of my business. It is, am I acting in alignment with my values? That mattered. So if I ask you to wake up in the morning and breathe, find your heartbeat to quiet yourself and find that sensitivity, and then just think through What is MAGIC? Map, action, gratitude. Let me feel gratitude. Intention, child. Think about the child you were. That's the evolution of it. All I'm asking you to do is think about the acronym. If you can do that, you get a 1 for the day. If you go deeper into it, you can get up to 9 points, up to 10 points. But you start by simply remembering map or model, action, gratitude, intention, and your child self. What did your child want? Is kind of what we're looking for. Who did you think you'd be? Harlan Ellison said that success is to bring into existence in adult terms your childhood dreams. I can think of no better definition. In that alignment of escape pain, embrace joy, and be of service. So this is what's coming out of my trying to take what was what happened to me and turn it into a benefit to myself and to the people that I love. Yeah, that's you guys. You think that I would do this every Friday unless I desperately wanted you to live lives of joy and contribution. And this is what I do. One of the things I do to try to make the world a better place is to ask you if you appreciate what it is I'm doing here, then heal yourselves, embrace joy, and go out and help 10 other people. If you would say that you would share this with 10 other people, we can multiply. The world needs healed hearts. It needs people who respect themselves enough to protect themselves, who have enough faith to embrace joy and feel enough connection to the world to help their neighbors walk with pride and happiness. So that's kind of what I wanted to say today. I would love to hear what you think about that or what you have been doing, anything that connects with any of those things. Unless Tananarive, if you wanted to say something real quick before we open the floor.
No, go on, open the floor.
Okay, so let's open the floor. Jaime.
Hello, everybody. So, very interesting to encounter the idea of child as the C in magic this morning on
Yeah,
Facebook.
and how it relates to core and character.
And I'm going to be pondering that all this week. I want to report on some opportunities that came up for me this last week to try to pass on some of the ideas that are part of what we all do here to other people and extend it forward, pay it forward. And the two things that people in my world have been most receptive to are the 5 minute miracle of teaching other people how to breathe, and then the life writing idea of 1 sentence a day applies to any goal or any object. Find the minimum thing that you can do to succeed, that there's no excuse not doing it. And if you find yourself not doing it, examine why.
Yeah.
And I've been trying to share that idea with others with some success and some failures. And so I'm having to learn how to make it my own, turn it into my own language to share it with the people that I have an opportunity. And I watched one young man, he's a 20-something-year-old man who's been struggling at changing his routine and moving forward in his life. And I started sharing with him these ideas, not pushing them in any way, just suggesting them. And he picked them up and started using them and is now reporting his success. And what a thrill it is to watch that happen.
First of all, congratulations. I mean, I think that's wonderful. Let's give Jaime a hand. I mean, this is great. I wanted to make a suggestion.
Hmm.
You don't even have to make him a suggestion. You can say, "Well, this is what I do."
Right, right.
You know,
That's how I was sharing it.
and if you are doing it, yes, if you're doing it, then your words and your being are in alignment, and the energetic will tell him that you're speaking the truth. And if he looks at you and says, this person has a calm or an energy or something that I find interesting, I would like that. I mean, I remember uh, Jerry Pornell, his doctoral thesis, or his doctoral dissertation was on the comparative efficiency of different forms of therapy. And because he had a PhD in psychology as well as one in political science, and he did this research. And what he found out was that there wasn't any difference in the effectiveness rates of different forms of therapy, that the difference was in how the client saw the personal integrity of the therapist.
Interesting.
The degree to which, in other words, the client would like to grow up to be the therapist.
Mm.
That made a difference. That the therapist's integrity, I am who I am. Here's who it is that I am. If you like this, then let me ask these questions or do these things or whatever. But all the therapist can do is help you get on the bus that they're traveling on. Okay. So in that sense, if you're trying to help people by being an avatar, by being an exemplar of what you're discussing, you are in integrity with yourself and your words have power. You can speak softly and they will see there's something different. And they will say something along the lines of, oh, they say that people insulting them, that they always ask, is it true? If it's not true, why should I care about it? They will watch you and see that what happens the next time someone criticizes you. And if you get angry, then they'll know you were lying and they will discount everything you've just said.
Right.
But if someone says that to you and you kind of say, well, that's an opinion. I appreciate that that's your opinion. Thank you for that. And you let it go, they will say, wow, it works. Maybe these other things they're talking about work too. So the best thing you can give to the world is to be the happiest, healthiest, most successful person you can be while still keeping integrity and compassion towards others.
It's an interesting thing because I've been looking at the experiences this week in terms of the people who I'm succeeding at communicating with, and there's a couple of folks that I'm not succeeding with. And I don't think it's my delivery or my integrity that's a question. It's their sincerity. And
Well,
I'm looking at their lack of willingness to pick up
but
these
there's
tools and
also,
try
quite
them.
frankly, no teacher can reach everybody.
Right.
It's
Uh,
no teaching is appropriate for everybody. It's not that there's anything wrong with you or them. It
But
might be you're not their teacher.
the light bulb that came on as we opened up today was to take my thoughts and feelings of that experience and add it into my own stories that I'm writing right now.
There you go.
Because there is opportunity in both of the things that I'm working on where that emotion is what's needed. And if I use those experiences of frustration or challenge in the story will be better. So it's
Yeah,
going to help my own work in the long run anyway. So
there you
anyway,
go. It's a no
thanks.
loss. You're very welcome. Another thing that I wanted to talk about, I forgot to talk about really, was what I'm working on this week. The most important thing I was working on is the manuscript for Ice Vegas, my new collaboration with Larry Niven, which, by the way, is just sold in Russia. They just did the translation rights for Russia, just sold, which is very cool. I'm not, it's been a long time since I sold in Russia, but there was a lot of stuff that needed to be done. I had dropped the ball in some ways that I will now learn from and make sure I don't do that again, but we had to correct a lot of different things. I also made a decision that I want to look at the new the new book, a new solo novel that I'm working on, my first solo novel that is not media oriented in quite a while. Uh, and I have to ask myself why about that too. But I'm asking myself, what happens if I let all the characters be younger? What happens if they're kids? I've never done a novel that was from a kid point of view primarily. Even Charisma, which was largely about children, I had two adult points of view. So I'm asking myself, what happens if I don't do that? Because some of the best books I've read, I mean, Stand By Me, by my favorite genre writers, were largely from the perspective of children. So I'm going to spend today, after we get off this, kind of lazing around and looking at, well, what happens, and how would I change these different things if the entire book takes place between the time that my lead character is 14 and 19? What happens? And I want to know about that. So that's something that is I'm going to use scan cards, I think, basically index cards, and put the scenes out, and then I'm going to put them in a format where I can look at the scenes and ask myself, does the structure, the rhythm, the pace of story as I understand it, does this work? I don't have to write the whole manuscript to find out if it works. If I do that with a stack of 3x5 cards, and when it's that notion of create a 3-page outline, and if the entire story can be told in 3 pages, then I can ask a friend, sit down, let me read this to you. Does this scan? And if it works in 3 pages, it'll work as a novel. And it forces you to really bear down. So that's something I have to do today. So back to people. Who is here? Who's going to raise their hand and comment about anything that we've been talking, any projects that you're working on? And you can address your questions to me or to Nanariv. And as we always say, volunteer or you will be voluntold.
Triumphs and
I'm
challenges.
here. I'm ready.
You know something, Nelina? I was actually about to call on you.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm
You
doing
know what's
great.
interesting? It's so wonderful to see you. It's so wonderful to see
And I
Tanana.
know I owe you an email too. I'm
It's
behind.
okay.
By
It's
the way,
okay.
Nelina helps writers get published. She helps authors who have done their work to get their books published. So do your work, but after that, if you want to communicate with her, I verify that she's for real. Okay? All right. So how can we help you today, sweetheart?
So here's the thing. I just want to let you know, I just got off of a Zoom. I had to slide out of your Zoom for a
I'm
hot
not
minute.
quite sure how to help you with that.
Oh, Alexa, hush. Paul Whitcover said to tell you hi, Tanana Reeve. You all did a reading of the reformatory for the Southern New Hampshire University last spring.
Oh, yes, I did. Oh,
Yes.
yes. Now I remember that name.
And
Yes,
I'm
you
actually
did.
doing a literary agent pitch session for them in December. But I will let you all know I am a literary agent, but I take by referral only. If you're going to contact me, you need to say that Lifewriting or Stephen or Tanana Reeve do sent you, because I take by referral only. And I take through Query Tracker. So just so you know, if you signed up for there, if you have a project and you want to send, what I'm working on is something that's very outside of my norm, which is anthologies in the sense of Dance with My Father and Word to Your Mother, as well as we're doing a romantic suspense and a romantic comedy anthology as well. So we have 4 coming out next year. And it is interesting because it's bringing on new people who have never written before, and this is getting their feet wet. But also, too, I was really worried about the Dance with My Father one, because in the beginning, there were not a lot of people signing up to talk about their relationships with their fathers. And I was concerned because I wanted a good balance. If I was going to do a mother one, even though I didn't have a good relationship with my father, it was a responsible thing for me to do, is to make sure if I have a mother anthology, I have a father anthology. And let me tell you, the worries were unfounded, because later more people say I'm a daddy's girl, and my father taught me this, and now this is why I do woodworking. So it came through late, but it came through, and I was so relieved, because I didn't want anybody to feel that I was being biased or anything like that, just because I didn't have an entry to go in. But it also made me reflect on healing from my relationship with my mother. I was adopted by my biological mother, and the history behind that, you can tell, was very contentious and contentious. And I get to write about the beautiful side of her this time, because I've talked about the traumatic stuff. Now in this one, these anthologies are uplifting, they're hilarious, they're funny, and I get to share that the only thing she told me about the birds and the bees was to keep my bra on. And that, I'm telling you, literally, she
She missed
told
a
me to keep
spot,
my, that's
but
all she said was keep my bra on. I think she thought that would translate into keeping my drawers up, but I didn't make that correlation. So I get to tell those funny stories about that, and her being so competitive, playing Demon Attack when Atari came out, and she would lay on the floor with the kids all around her and she had the controllers. Those are wonderful memories that I have that kind of breaks up what I've been sharing all along about me healing from abuse and all of these different things. So I'm looking forward to these two anthologies. And I'm wonderful that Stephen, I've always loved that story that he has had about how I met my wife. So he has an entry in there. He's done the intro to that,
oh,
because
that's what that
we
was for.
need,
Okay.
Yes, it
yes,
was.
we
Listen,
need some light and love. We
listen, I
need
want to
some
say
lightness
something
right
that
Light
you're
and love.
now.
what you're doing has the potential to be very healing because the one corollary or one process in the ancient child technique is to visualize the child that is just younger than whatever the point where the damage took place.
Oh,
In other words, you start, if you have to go all the way back to the womb, I don't care. And I've had people have to go back to past lives.
whoa.
But you know, in the womb, that all human beings were nurtured. It doesn't matter whether you can remember it or not. Children who are not loved die. Infants that are not cuddled and cooed to and kissed, they die. It's called failure to thrive. So there was a point in your life when you were given love, even if by the time you were 1 year old, it was nothing but screaming and yelling in your house. If you can remember a time like watching your mom play a video game, that sense of once upon a time there was family, there was joy, there was that is very healing, and you make a connection between the adult you are now and the child you were before the world hurt you. And you send love and protection back to that child. And if when you do that, by the time that child feels safe, you will start feeling love coming back. That's how you know that you've done it. When that child begins to hug you and giggle and you visualize it and wants to climb up in your arms and just sink into your heart, that is when you've got that healthy connection that you need to be a writer, an artist, to live as an adult in the world. What you're doing by asking people to remember their moms and dads and then going back to you're running a line around all the damage that we take as adults trying to survive in the world back to a simpler, happier time when there was love and there was hope. So
Yes.
bless you. It's a great idea. T, you've been nodding your head. Is that
I'm
off?
just nodding. I think this is all great. It's great to see you. I think it's a great project. I'm so glad that Steve participated in that because he is such a fantastic father.
Yes.
And you were just sparking
Well, no,
something.
his is in the. I didn't want to ask him for both because I would have loved to have something for him for the father one, about what he's doing with Jason and just how he's helping him to usher into adulthood. That would
Yeah,
be
I guess I have to tell you that as Jason has hit 21, I don't talk about that publicly as much.
I saw that. I saw,
Yes,
but
and
I would look forward
he
to that.
deserves his privacy.
Yeah.
But I will talk in general. I will talk, broadly. But I will no longer. I'm not going to, other than showing a picture. Here's Jason on his motorcycle. I'm simply not talking about other things. Except I will say, by the way, he's doing great.
I
He's
can
doing
only
absolutely
imagine.
great.
I
He's
can
doing
only
Yeah.
wonderfully.
imagine.
I am so happy being his dad.
He's got great parents, and you guys are. It's just wonderful to see. I would look at that because I'm getting to see if there's anything that I needed to apply to my relationship with my adult son. My son is 39. And I
Mm.
looked at if I had to cycle back and share some things with him that I may have missed because I was a single mother. I got pregnant. I was 18, had my son when I was 19. And then I bought my first house the year after that. And from there, I've
Wow.
always been head of household. So it's about making the money, but it wasn't necessarily about raising as much as I needed to. So I failed to sit down with my son and teach him how to balance a checkbook. So he had to figure it out on his own, like I had to figure it out on my own because my
Yeah, but
mother.
he can't. What he needs to know is that his mom loves him and is proud of him.
Yes,
That's
Yeah.
what he needs to know. The rest of it is details. If
it
he
is.
knows that you love him and you're proud of the man he's become, you have given him everything he needs. The rest is what he wants.
And not to, I don't want to, I don't know, color anything you said previously about your mom, but I would imagine that one of your goals was to be more of a mom, a more consistent mom than yours was. You know, no shade. You had those happy
I get
memories
it.
too,
I
but there were
get it.
some issues, it sounds like. So,
But
so
as
yes,
I
you
started healing,
mission accomplished.
yeah, it is. But I made some mistakes along the way, and I had to apologize to him.
Good.
I said, and I did, and he was in Costco when I called him on FaceTime, and I said, I don't want you to leave this earth without the apology that you deserve. And he said, come on, Mom, don't have me crying in Costco. And it was interesting because 2 weeks later, he called me. And it was something that I was trying to get across to him when he was younger about sweat equity. When you can't give as much money, you give it in sweat equity, helping around the house. He finally got that understanding in marriage. And so he called to apologize to me. So that's the thing between us now. I said, don't have me crying in Costco. So that's our going thing
See,
right
by giving him the gift of seeing you as a human being,
now. Mhm.
of realizing that you were flawed, that you got scared, that you were tired, but you were there for him every damn day. When he realizes the quality of that gift, it elevates your relationship. And when you write about that
Mhm.
and you write about your feeling about what is it that makes a good marriage? What is it that makes a good pairing? I can tell you that one of the things that makes a good marriage is that I see the little girl inside Tananarive and I cherish her and I would die to protect her. And she
We see
sees the
each
little
other's
boy
inner
in me.
children very, very
Yes.
easily because that's where our creativity comes from.
And quite frankly, there's a large degree in which sex is play.
Hello? What are we talking about? Oh,
Well, I need a note from my mother for this part of the conversation.
There you go. There, absolutely. It's like,
sounds like I need an NDA for this part of the
I
conversation.
know, right? Indeed.
anyway,
Thank you
thank
so
you for
much for
sharing,
allowing
Melina,
me to
and thank you
share.
for the work you're doing. It's valuable.
Indeed. And I look forward to that Tananarive because it's going to be an amazing thing. It really is. And we're going to have something at the end where it says word to your mother. Everybody's going to have some parting shot that they want to say to their parent or mom. Mom, thank you so much for everything that you've done. And the dance with my father is different. And it's just, it fulfills me to know
Well,
that
let
I've
me
got
ask you a question,
point.
Melina.
Great.
Do you have somebody to do your forward for the mother?
Not for the mother. There's forward and intro. So whatever you want to send for that, we will fit you
No, I'm
in.
just thinking that Tananarive's relationship with her mother was
I,
extraordinary, and
but you know
she
what the
might want
funny
to
thing
think
is?
about that.
She
Just a
talks more
thought.
about her father. That when I'm looking on the internet, I saw more entries about her father
Because his
than I
father's
did her
still her
mom.
father's still alive.
Right, right. So
But anyway,
either
but
way,
that's I don't want to get into her business too much, except to say
whatever you guys want to do, you're not locked into anything. It's a healing project. We just finished another one, Healing from the Heart.
there you go.
And we had people telling a snippet, 2,500, 3,000 words of how they got over some of the most traumatic stuff in their life and the steps that they did to do that, whether it was therapy, whether it was a sisterhood, those things that helped them to do. And it was a little dark in some places, but we made sure that there was a good balance of things. So Healing from the Heart, it made #1 new release, and New York Times bestselling author Mary Monroe did the forward. She was only supposed to do a page or two. She ended up doing about 5 or 10 pages because she's not ready to write her memoir. But when she got to writing about her life's experiences, it's like, whoa, you never know how much people have been through.
No,
And
you
then
really
when you
Right.
look
don't.
at them now that they're
I think it's
living their
best
best
to
life.
assume that everyone has been through the ringer. That
Yeah.
every single human being you meet has been pushed absolutely to their edge. And
Mhm.
we're miracles that we can still walk around and
Walking
smile.
miracles.
We are, and this is one of the reasons why we need to both protect ourselves and be as kind as possible. Everyone is struggling.
And
Everyone.
honest with ourselves as possible.
It's
You know,
kind.
being able to
Don't
set
be
those
kinder.
boundaries.
I wrote today, don't be kinder to strangers than you are to yourself.
Whoo! Is that on Facebook?
Yeah.
I'm going to go share that.
Okay.
Go
You
share
take
that.
care, sweetheart.
Okay, thank you.
Great
You
to
bet.
see you.
All
Same here.
right. So let's see who's next. Who's going to volunteer so I don't have to call on them and embarrass them? Oh, okay. We've got somebody here. Asked to unmute. Jade?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, awesome. I have a question.
Yeah.
I'm trying to turn my camera on, but it just is not letting me for some reason. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
It's okay.
But I have
Oh,
been,
there you are.
I look pretty awful. Okay. Um, so I've been pretty successful I work full time. So, write all day and then in the evening, I'm writing all night. And so my day ends at like 1, 2 in the morning. And that's what it takes for me to be pretty successful in terms of getting word count in. Since I started the life writing, which has been a lot of fun, I have enjoyed kind of hearing your philosophy about get it done in the morning, don't wait until night. And sometimes, based on the level of exhaustion that I feel at the end of the night, and then I'm having to like drag myself to kind of get it done, I'm like, yeah. So I tried experimenting with this to see, okay, can I get myself to flip the day around and maybe get up earlier and then not stay up, quite as late in the morning. However, it's not working. And I have found that like if I take the day off to write, like, oh, I'm gonna write all day. It's gonna be great. There's some part of my brain creatively that I can't access
Okay.
until it's
So
later in the day.
allow me to look at this. What I'm asking people to do is to wake up, direct their energy so that they know what they need to do and why they need to do it, and to take one physical action, a sun salutation, to get into their bodies. Okay. In other words, what is the minimum dose that you need to move forward? In terms of your writing, your minimum dose is one sentence. You make a commitment to writing one sentence in the morning. You do that, and you've done all you need to do today. The rest of it is what you want to do. If you do what you need to do, and it's one sentence, you need feel no guilt because you're making an advancement towards your goal. But you will find that once you organize yourself to write one sentence, you'll write two, you'll write five, you'll write a whole page. But what you have to look at is all of the negative messages that we receive that we have to work, that the arts are play, that they're trivial. You'll never make a living doing that. All those voices in your head are things that you have to kind of dissolve or get into line before you can access that sheer joy of creation. So, what I invite you to do is to, in terms of your morning, all you have to do is one sentence. If you don't do one sentence, it has nothing to do with your schedule. It has nothing to do with how much time you had. It has to do with what's going on emotionally. And once you know that, you can start saying, well, what resources do I need to align? It's it's to be sure that you know that all you have to do to succeed in life is what it's possible for you to do. That there are tons of things that you cannot affect, that you cannot change. That's the way the world is. But it's up to you to master your mind and your heart and your body so that you're doing everything you can do. And in that little space you make, you can dance. And what you'll find is if you will do that, by the way, there's a cat that is cleaning itself behind you. That is so sweet. If you will do what you can do and forgive yourself and not worry about what you can't, your capacity to do expands. So
Okay.
wake up, feel your breath, feel your heartbeat, go through what is a magic formula? It's map or model, action, gratitude. Feel gratitude for something that in your life. Intention, what are your goals? What do you want by the end of the year? And your child self. While you're in that drowsy state between waking and sleep, maybe you can visualize the little girl that you were and ask her what you should do next. She's critical. She's so important. Or just go through the definitions of the acronym and don't worry about anything else. Then get up and do one thing to connect yourself to your body. I suggest the sun salutation. There are other things that are more powerful that deepen, but if you'll just do one sentence a day, you're on the path of being a writer. If you'll do these minimums that we're talking about here, you are doing more to connect yourself to your humanity than 99% of people. 99% of people do not align themselves body, mind, and spirit, body, mind, and emotions. T.
I just put myself in here literally. Because I had a question from the very beginning, Jade. You said you're writing during the day and night. Is your day job writing related?
I'm a researcher, so kind of, yeah.
Okay.
A little less than I don't write manuscript publications as much anymore. So more of kind of like market research now, which is kind of a welcome change so that it's not so many words per day, but
Yeah,
kind of
that's tough. That's tough.
yeah, yeah, and then kind of like the I'm trying to be disciplined and say, okay, you've got to get like 2,500 words in. And but the problem I think I'm hitting is that so I'm starting to work later, which is then kind of pushing my writing later. And then sometimes I'm tired, but it's like I have a deadline and I'm responsible to other people
How
in
much
terms of
sleep
getting,
are you getting?
oh man. And so maybe like what did I sleep last night? From 2 to 7?
Okay, so your primary thing here is that you're not honoring yourself. You need more sleep than that. Okay? You need more sleep.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
you,
there's an argument to be made that sleep is more important than writing an extra word count.
that's right. That's right. As long as you do one sentence, you've done your work for the day. Now get 8 hours of sleep. Okay. So the work that
Or
you do to keep a roof over your head, fine. But if you do you have time to exercise? Are you connecting with your body?
That's the thing. Yes, I do. So that's part
Well,
of
what do
the
you do?
like work ends. Then I go straight to the Y and do an hour of cardio
Oh,
and then
fantastic.
alternating with strength training, right? Then come back home and now it's like, okay, now you've got to sit and write. So it's
Okay.
kind of
So
rigid.
so look, you by increasing the intensity in 20 minutes, you can exercise so hard that you cannot go any longer and do just as much for your body as an hour under a lower pace, which gives you 40 extra minutes within which to get that writing done. So
or the sleep.
so get your sleep. Aim at 7 to 9 hours of sleep. Most people need 8, and we are often chronically underrested, and it begins to grind you down. And it's
Yeah.
hard to feel the joy when you don't have enough rest. On weekends, when you've got absolutely nothing to do and no responsibilities, how much do you sleep?
Oh my God. Like so much. Oh my God, I can sleep until 1 in the
Mm.
afternoon usually. Like I'm that.
How many hours is that?
Oh man, probably a good 8, 9 hours.
So you
Yeah.
So
sleep
you
what you
need,
should be sleeping on the weekends. I just read a study, actually it was a headline, so full confession, I didn't see the full study. But the idea of catching up on sleep on the weekends, it's a little bit of a myth, according to supposedly science.
yeah.
So you just want to factor in the wear and tear, both on the body and the psyche, with chronic sleep deprivation. It sounds like you're more of a night owl than a morning person. So it would be
I
sleeping
want to
later,
change that.
sleeping later, but you can't, I mean, but it's not that easy to change. It's not, I mean, so I would say try to pay attention to your body's natural cycles. You seem like a very driven person, so maybe I'm sure it's very hard for you to feel like writing a sentence a day is getting you to your goal as fast as you want.
Yeah.
So while remembering that that's the minimum buy-in, just in getting more sleep, try to find those little those little creases in your life where you can write more than that sentence without hurting your sleep cycle.
Remember, if you get an hour, if you can fight for 1 hour that belongs to you can write a page. You could
Yeah.
dictate a page of writing in your car while you drive and then simply transcribe it. And if you do a page a day, that's a book a year. Nobody needs to write more than that. So the trick is to make your goals clearly. And are you writing not you writing fiction?
Yes.
Okay.
I owe my agent a proposal, and I also need to finish a book by the end of the
Okay. Are
year.
you published at all?
Yes.
Great. Great. What have you published?
Romance. I write romance.
Okay,
I know how.
novels?
What's that?
Novels?
Yes.
Great.
I've written 2 novels.
Okay. Fantastic.
Great.
So you're an advanced writer. This is good. This is good. So your focus, as far as I'm concerned, should be on protecting the little girl that is your creative force. You are now
Oh,
mother to that little girl. So you need to make sure she gets enough sleep. You need to make sure that she goes out to play, and you need to make sure she does her homework. Okay? So if you do that, if you know that you have to provide structure for her, but she also needs time to watch cartoons or dance or play with her friends, but make sure she does her homework. What's her homework? At least a sentence a day. And you might say a page a day after that. But if she does a sentence a day, she's a good girl. Love that little girl. Just, she no longer is responsible for doing some huge amount of work. One sentence is her homework. The rest is play if she wants to. That's a very different shift.
it is. I'm usually concerned about making sure she's not lazy and she's
Yeah.
productive. So,
She's not lazy.
oh,
She's not
definitely.
lazy.
She's not
She's working
lazy.
herself half to death and she's wondering why mom doesn't see it. I'm working as hard as I can, mom. Why don't you see it? There's a part of her that needs to be cuddled and loved and told that she is precious. Okay? That you do that, and I guarantee your creativity will skyrocket.
Thank you.
You bet. You bet. Good luck. And
Stay the
come
path.
back and make sure and let us know how we can support you and what's going on, okay?
I will. I love this group, so I'm here every week.
Fantastic. Great. Fantastic.
Great.
Are you on the if you are on the Life Writing site?
Circle.
I think so.
Well,
I
maybe
think
we'll
so.
go there and post questions and thoughts and observations and ask for help and support other people. It is designed to be a place that is 100% positive in this world. There's no
I appreciate
negativity on that site. There's just let's help each other.
And
it. Yes.
speaking of life writing on Circle, which is our social media site, forever free, www.liferite.com. Those of you who are already subscribed, and we already have almost 500 members now. If you're already on there, in the welcome message, because I hate notifications flooding my inbox, in the welcome message, I was actually encouraging people to disable email notifications, but I'm going to change my tune about that. I think you should enable email notifications, especially if you find yourself forgetting about the site or not posting in a while, because it'll remind you. It's hard to start a new habit. So maybe you're still going to Facebook first or Instagram first, and you forget all about Circle when someone replied to your post 5 days ago, you know. So email notifications are not always a bad thing. I think those of you who are in the Life Writing Professional Program, I set it so that you get email notifications, I think. Can someone in chat let me know if Life Writing Professional members are getting email notifications every time there's a post? I tried to set it up that way, just so you'll see it. It's a classroom site, so you need to see it. But I think everybody else, there are a lot of people talking to each other there. Reset your notifications so that you get an email every time there's a reply or response to your post, or even every time there's a new post, just for a while.
That's great. Jim Early. Hello, Jim.
Hello, Steve.
How you doing?
All right, got a bit of a cold. Hopefully, I won't be coughing too much here, but
Okay.
I wanted to share something with Jade about. I had a similar struggle with sleeping that she was kind of reporting, and about like staying up late to get stuff done, and getting up almost like the last minute in order to start getting stuff done and just kind of like this continuous cycle of And it wasn't until I got this, don't know if you can see it very well, a smart ring. And it helps keeping track of my sleep cycle. And I can even set an alarm so that it will figure out when I'm at the edge of REM sleep and not wake me up in that. I can set a window for when it wakes up when I'm not in a dream, but I'm like in that spot where I'm like be able to wake up, because if you like go back into deep sleep, or if you're in a dream and you get what the alarm wakes you up out of it, you you feel off, and
That is very true.
it so it recognizes when I'm in deep sleep. It keeps track of that through the night. It's figured out what
Okay,
my
Jim, do me a favor.
sure.
Put into chat if you can find a link to the brand of smart ring that you're using
Sure.
into chat so that people know that they're, about one that actually works. Okay, this is, I love it. I love it. You've tested it, you believe in it, share it.
Yeah, because I'm getting up on my own an hour and a half earlier than I used to, and I'm getting slightly more sleep, but it's figured out I need about 6.5 to 7 hours of sleep for
And you're feeling good?
and to feel good. And I'm usually
Fantastic.
waking up on my own now.
Okay. Well, that's like I said, put that into chat. I will check that out myself, and if you would, you're a Facebook friend, right?
I'm on Facebook, but I'm not really active on it anymore. I'm kind
Okay.
of
If you
moved
would,
away
if you
from
would
Facebook.
send me a personal message with the link
Sure.
to the ring, I'd appreciate it. Might be
Yeah.
a Christmas present. Never know.
Okay. Yeah. And the other rings might be, or other devices might do the same thing, but that's something that's out there.
Well, I like to start with with recommendations from people who say this works. Is there anything we can do to help you?
Uh, Not right now. I'm like mainly trying to get over this cold.
Fantastic. Well, get plenty of rest. Drink
Thanks.
plenty of fluids. All right. Let's see who is next. Somebody just raised their hand. I just said Jacqueline. Jacqueline?
Hi.
Hi.
I just wanted to say I very much appreciate what you do every week for us and in creating this space. I rarely speak here, but I wanted to say that.
You're very welcome. It is an honor.
Thank
Like I
you.
said, the meaning of life is to escape suffering, embrace joy, and be of service. So this is part of my service to the world. It gives my life meaning.
Yeah, yeah. Um, and thank you. I put something in the chat. I went to see a screening of a film,
Yeah,
and I thought I'd just share this with the film buffs.
sure.
It's a film on Tony K. Bambara, who was a fiction writer, but it's called the TCB School of Organizing, and they're streaming it on Doc NYC for the rest of the month. Um, and I brought it up because there's a scene where there's a group of Black women writers talking, and right in the middle is a clip of Octavia Butler.
Oh,
And it's brief, but it's really refreshing. She's very young. And I say the film is about an hour and a half or a little over. But for those who want to look at some literary history, it's really quite wonderful.
Octavia was a dear friend, and she was exceptional. She was above my level as a writer, and she never let me forget that she thought I had more potential than I was using. She
Mm,
was a lovely, lovely, lovely human being, and I was honored to be her baby brother.
yeah, yeah. This is refreshing. You might like it. But
That's good.
I just wanted to share that.
Hey, put the name of it in chat if you would.
Okay, I'm gonna repost it. And Give me a second.
It's okay. All right. Is there anything else, sweetheart?
I'm good for now. I took the horror class, and
Oh, well, then you should come to Life Writing Professional tomorrow. Anybody who's taken one of our live classes is welcome to Life Writing Professional. Tananarive?
Are you getting notifications? Are you on Circle?
Yeah, yeah. No,
Okay, good.
I hope I plan to attend.
Good.
I'm
Where we
in
can go deeper into writing. Here, writing is one of several different things we talk about. There,
oh,
we go deep.
okay. All right. I'll see you then.
You betcha. All right. Who's next? Hmm. Hmm. Let me see. Daniel. Daniel from Germany. You there?
Hello?
Hello. Camera, please.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Can you got your, have you got your
Um,
camera?
so I have to change place. I'm in the middle of a hotel. Okay, so I'm ready. Yes, I can talk now.
Okay, have you got your camera?
Moment. Give me a sec. So I'm improvising a lot right now. I just, but I'm in moment. Let me see if I can handle this.
You can handle it.
Moment.
While you're doing that, you had some questions about the Warrior Walk, or you wanted to know something concerning it, and I did not address it last week. So ask your question, please. Daniel? Daniel? Okay.
Hello?
Yes. So Daniel,
So I said, yes.
You had some questions last week about the Warrior Walk, and I did not address it. So please ask your question now.
And
I can see that Daniel's having some challenges with this. So if anyone else has their
Well,
hand,
he was volunteered.
yes, he was
So
volunteered. If anyone else wants to put their hand up while Daniel is trying to work out his technical stuff, I'm going to go over to Che. Che,
I was just I was just putting my hand up. I was like, ah, if I know how this is going to go, I'm getting volunteered in a second.
that's right.
Um,
So what's happening with your project?
okay, it's working. It's working.
It's
It's
working?
working now.
Okay.
Dave
So I'm
my
going to go
dude.
back to Daniel. I'm going to go back to Daniel, and then I will talk to you, Che. So Daniel, where is he? Where is he?
Can you hear me?
There he is. Yes, I can hear you. And
Hello?
putting you on spotlight.
The connection.
There you are.
Hello.
All right. So
Nice,
Daniel,
nice to
what
meet you
question
all.
did you have about the Warrior
Yes,
Walk
I'm
program?
traveling. I'm on a yacht, and the Warrior Walk is fine.
Okay. Did you have a question for us? Yeah, I don't know what country he's in right now. It might be Germany, might be someplace else. But clearly the tech. So what I'd like you to do, Daniel, is to send me your questions on Facebook. Can we keep getting
Yes,
it
yes,
here?
yeah, I'm fine with the Warrior Walk. I found some information. You sent me a link, and I informed myself. I'm fine with it.
Good, 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 good. Well, just want you to continue moving forward, buddy. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Now the connection is good. I changed it. Yeah, no, I'm fine. I'm on track. I changed my diet, and I have much more energy, and I'm on track. It's unusual. Nearly everything is changing, but it feels good.
I'm delighted to hear that. And you know, show up again next week and let us
Yeah,
know more about what you're
still
doing.
it's okay. Great.
Okay,
Okay.
great. Okay, so Che.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yeah, so things are it's wild what deadlines can do. Things are just moving ahead with my project. I put a casting call up, I guess last week. Had a handful of people respond, including some people that I was like, oh, like you were just in a show that my partner saw. Like that's really cool. Um, so yeah, that's like that's kind of moving. Um, I gotta get a new job though, and so I'm kind of like I'm sort of like worried um about like, oh, now I have to shift focus over to like some other stuff. Am I gonna like run out of momentum
Okay, so what you
my
need to do
project?
is to define what is the minimum that you need to keep going on this project, and it will be something under an hour.
Right.
It'll be less than an hour. And when you give it that urgency, all I've got is an hour to do this. All I've got is a half hour to do this. All I've got is 5 minutes to do this. Ah, my son just said hi to me. I have a son. I have a gorgeous 21-year-old son. Just makes me happy. Um, define if all you had all day was 5 minutes, what would you do? If all you had was 10 minutes, what would you do? 15 minutes. So you know what the minimum is. You will do that minimum regardless because it is feeding your heart. Your life belongs to you. Now, that said, you have to earn a living. But you understand that's the adult part of your personality. The adult does what the adult does to create room for the child to be happy and play. The adult goes out into the world and slays saber-toothed tigers and works down in the coal mines. The child's job is to dance. The Eskimo don't they do not spank their kids. They barely correct them because life is harsh enough. And they're going to spend their whole lives dealing with that harshness. So they do everything they can to protect their children while they're children. We carry that child with us. And so when I say that I'm very seriously considering reformulating the magic formula so that the C means child. And I want you to think about that child every day. That child deserves 5 minutes to work on this project of yours. And just make it during that 5 minutes, you will do nothing except work on that. Or 10 minutes or 15 minutes or whatever you can give yourself. Yes, you need to get a new job, but you also need to play.
Makes sense.
You betcha.
Yeah. Thanks,
Hard,
boss.
that's some hard-earned knowledge right there, man. I There are times when I forgot that I needed to play, that I forgot that I needed to protect the integrity of that child, and I paid for it. And I do not want you to have to do the same thing. Okay?
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
So this is great. Is there anything we can do for you today? Fantastic.
That was it.
All right.
That was it. Just reminded me protect that time to play.
Okay. Jacqueline, you still have your hand up. Is there something else you wanted to say? I guess not. Let's see. Who else here? J. Michael Hayes.
I knew you were going to call me. I'm sitting here in the middle of formatting a book for a client, so it's not a pretty picture. Hold on, let me get in some more lighting. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right. All right, I can.
So how are you doing today, and how can we serve you?
I am doing really well. I've been, like I said, I was just in the middle of formatting a novel for a client, and so just listening.
Tell me
to
a little bit about that. What do you mean? People who are self-publishing?
Yeah. It's an author named Joe Craig out of the UK who's on HarperCollins, and he does these books called the Jimmy Coates series, which is like sort of like a preteen Born Identity kind of. That's
cool.
Sort of the framework. They're really cool. He's done 7 of them. He's working on the 8th one right now. They started back in like 2002, I think, or something like that. So we just did. We're just doing a re-release of the full set. So I'm just, formatting the interior layouts. I did the cover artwork already. So work, just the regular gig. But
How can we help you?
I don't know, man. I think everything is good. I try
Great.
to listen in every week. This weekend I'll be carving out some time to work on editing the short film that I'm doing, and just trying to the goal there is to get it done before the end of the year so I can hit the festival season for 2026, because I'm already going up against some of those deadlines. But yeah, I just try to keep it balanced, and listening to you guys every week is, whenever I can squeeze in here, is a great reminder to all these things. And I love hearing everybody's positive stories and working through their struggles. So thanks to you guys as always.
Fantastic. Okay, Tananarive.
I might be eating.
We're getting. That's right. It's almost time for me to eat too. So we're getting close to the end here. Is there anything you wanted to talk about?
No, we've said it all, I think. I used to only stay for an hour, but somehow it's been getting closer to the whole time.
Wait a
So
minute.
I'm ready.
Stephen Bauer raised his hand. So we got one last person before we sign off. Stephen.
One last quick comment. I really like the word rooted that you threw in there as an extension of metaphor of not just grounded, but tied deeply. And then I thought about it for a while, and for me, I actually want to use the word weebled, as in weebles wobble, but they don't fall down.
Oh.
In that I need something that keeps me oriented, but because the world is constantly in chaos and change, that is the world. That's how it is. I want to be able to respond to that, yet maintain my orientation. So I liked the rooted metaphor, but Weeble popped in my head as like that's how I need to approach that concept, and I just wanted to share it.
Thank you very much, Stephen. And that's perfectly valid. It's perfectly valid. Okay, Tananarive. So, question.
Well, all I have to add is that everybody, thank you for coming. Hope you're set up for a great weekend. And most importantly, go out and make yourselves the hero or heroine in your own story.
The hero in the adventure of your lifetime.
Bye-bye.
Everybody unmute yourselves and say goodbye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Have a great week, everybody.
Bye.
Don't forget to save the chat before he turns it off.
That's true. That's true. Bye-bye.
Right. Bye.
Thank you.
That's where the links are.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye, everybody.